Hi again. Today I really wanted to focus a little bit about girlhood, coming into girlhood, um, going out of girlhood and merging into womanhood, um, going out of womanhood and merging into queen, or merging into princess, or merging into goddess. There's a lot of these key terms being thrown out there in the aspect or in the realm of the goddess, or the realm of the womanhood, or the realm of the princess, or the queen, or the girl. And so I wanted to tap a little bit about that, and just basically in how I see it being thrown out there, being exploited. Um, Exploitation of womanhood and also the goddess is severely being blasphemized in today's age, and I basically see it right now as girls selling their vaginas. We're selling, not we're per se, but girls are selling their vaginas. Girls who calls themselves princesses but aren't acting as such, or women who calls themselves queen but aren't acting as such, or queens that calls themselves goddesses but aren't acting as such. You look at the internet in terms of, it's basically soft porn going on the internet. You got Facebook, you got Instagram, where everything is out in the open, and people are just using words to describe themselves that has absolutely nothing to do with how they're expressing themselves or how they're exploiting themselves, I should say. Because back in the day, as we study our ancestors, they used expression or nudity as a form of expression. It was in art. It was a way to connect with nature, right? So that was art. In terms of what we're doing right now and exploiting ourselves, in terms of you know being naked on the internet and selling our vaginas for fame, or selling our vaginas for likes. So I basically call it right now today's modern way of womanness, or the way womanism is expressing itself, is really selling the vagina. Selling the vagina to any means necessary to reach fame. And it's so sad. It's very sad because the goddess is so important to this whole circle of things, or to this whole enlightenment prospect. She's so important, but however, when you look around, you just see the goddess being exploited. Or, I mean, the goddess is not being exploited, but they're using the word or the sound or the tone to infuse with themselves, when in reality their character or their exploitation shows something else. And it's so sad that they feel that they have to use the goddess to bring forth whatever fame that they're seeking. So I wanted to just tap a little bit on that, because our ancestors absolutely do not like this. A lot of us exploit ourselves, and we think, oh, I'm free, I'm being naked, I'm showing my nipples all over the internet, because that's how I show I'm free. That's how I show that I'm independent. That's how I show I don't need no men. That's how I show that I'm in control of myself. In reality, that's not what's going on. If you really want to know how to express that, go back to the ancient realm. See how our ancestors were using the art of the goddess to bring forth what they really wanted to bring. It wasn't that they wanted to bring something that was inverted, something somewhat of an inversion to themselves. They wanted to work with nature. They used their body to work with nature. They didn't use the body to work against nature, to exploit nature. They didn't do that. And what we're doing right now as girls is basically what I could say, really, is we exploiting nature. We exploiting nature, and we think that we're expressing art. yes, I've seen some characters of goddesshood that is expressing art, but majority of what's going on in the soft porn world, I would say, specifically Instagram or Facebook, is really, again, is soft porn selling vaginas for free. And we really shouldn't do that, because one aspect of this I want to mention is when we have children, do we want our children to go on the internet and see, oh, this is my mama, selling the cooch, or wearing a pair of jeans and her hand is on her cooch saying, oh, her hands is on her cooch saying, oh, I'm free, or I'm independent, or I'm this, or oh, I'm pretty. I don't think that's what we want to show our children. Our breasts, like every men have had some sort of lust towards us. Our men that look at our pictures are lusting after these pictures. They're lusting after these form of soft porn, and that is something of that's not balance. Is basically what I'm saying. It's not balance. We claim that we don't want men to look at us as bitches and hoes, but we open a book where our character, our personality, what we're showing the world is like what they are perceiving us, like what they are calling us, So if we claim that we're princesses, we queens, and we goddesses, let's act as such. Let's act as such. Let's gather ourselves up and come back to our goddesshood. Let's claim our inheritance of who we are as a feminine energy that magnetize, that magnetize for growth, that magnetize for the beauty of nature, that magnetize the likeness of nature. That's our power, the likeness of the cosmos, not magnetize the likeness of exploitation of ourselves. And then we get mad when others call us otherwise. If you're a princess, act as such. If you're a queen, act as such. If you're a goddess, act as such. Don't just steal the word and say I'm that, but your character and what you're showing is the opposite of that. That is called blasphemy and inversion. You are inverting yourself furthermore into the illusion that you find yourself in, into whatever it is that you're selling or that you're trying to get to. So I really wanted to tap into that a little bit, Like, let's not sell our pussies. Let's not sell our vaginas. We're not for sale. And let's stop making it so easy for men to degrade us. To degrade it. They have no choice. Men are... We can't blame men for calling us what they're calling us. When we're showing them exactly what they're calling us. They're only seeing what they're seeing. And another thing that we're doing in selling our vaginas to the world is that in selling our vaginas, we're saying we don't need no men, which is giving some sort of validation to the inversion that that the inversion that you're doing to yourself, to your feminine self, is wrong. That's why you feel like you have to verify that by saying that you don't need no men. Of course you need a man. You didn't come into this world without the concept of men. You didn't come by yourself. You came with the emergence of men and women, and then you were born. And so you can't say you don't need no men. If you say those that says they don't need no men, there's a lot of healing that needs to be done. A lot of healing self-reflection, because sisters, we need men. We need men, and men need women. Okay? We need each other. There's no such thing as you don't need no men or I don't need no woman. There's no such thing. The principles, there's 7 comedic principles, and gender is part of that. How are you gonna need no men? So how are you gonna match the puzzle of gender if you don't need no men? So don't don't try to justify you selling your vaginas by saying you don't need no men, because you do. So yeah, so it would be great if we could just come back to ourselves, come back to your feminine self. Because the reason why you're calling yourself a goddess or a princess or a queen is because deep down inside you're trying to see something that you once were. That's why even though you're not that, you take the word and you call yourself that, because you know deep down inside you're that. You just need to shed these illusion of inversion that you created for yourself and claim yourself back. And I know it's not an easy process. It's not an easy process. First step is to recognize that you've done injustice to yourself. Injustice to yourself. Injustice to your yoni, selling your vaginas out there for men to lust after you. And then you lose value. You lose value. Women are so precious. Women are so precious that when you lose value as a woman, you basically can say you're nothing. That's how precious woman and the goddesses. You feel that you lose value. You feel it. You will feel like something is not right within you. Because your value itself, woman is value. So when you lose value, then what are you? You're nothing. So we just need to come back to our value. We just need to come back to our principles. And I'm not mixing it up with men. Just come back to yourself. Come back to yourself. Gather yourself. Gather the pieces. Put your puzzle back together. And reclaim your value. Stop throwing yourself out there for men to boys, not even men, boys, to just lust after you. And then they go to the next one. They lust after the next one. And then they come back to you. Whatever lusting they had from the previous one, they throw that at you. So you're losing your layers. You're losing your blossomness. You're losing your flowers. Yoni is mad. Yoni is upset. Nature's upset. Nature is upset because you're selling it for fame. You're selling your yoni for fame. You're selling for something that if you don't get likes, that you feel it. Like if you don't get I didn't get likes today, so I must have to spread. I must have to show more of myself to get more likes. Show more of yourself to get more likes. You're losing more of yourself just because you want to get fame. You want to get people who doesn't even care about you to press a button of like. You're selling yourself too short, women. You're selling yourself too short, goddesses. Those that claim they are goddesses, but are not. Those that claims that are princesses, but are not. Those that claims there are women that are not. Stop selling yourself. Stop selling yourself. It is one thing. One thing to be in this world as a woman is to have no value. To have no value. When men look at you like, ugh, it's just a hoe. Oh, yo, that's my bitch. That's a hoe. Oh, this hoe. This hoe. I did this hoe already. Those are ugly terms being thrown. And again, this is not just about you. This is about what you represent in the cosmos. What you represent in nature. What you represent in light. So when all these words, all these negativity, all these shames are being thrown at you, you're losing your blossomness from the higher realms of things. Stop selling your vagina. Stop selling yourself short. Stop selling yourself for fame. Stop selling yourself just so someone could press a button to like you. Come back to yourself. And if it's likes that you want, when a man sees a flower, it's like nothing else exists. That's one thing I can tell. That's one thing, because we are them and they are us. So when we show them what they are, when they can see themselves through us, oh my, that's it. That's the ultimate gift, really. The ultimate reward is for men to be able to see themselves through a woman. And a woman seeing herself through a man. It's like, bam, the mirror needs no other mirror. It sees itself. It still itself. And that is the importance of a woman. That is the importance of a goddess in this three-dimensional world and increasing in the higher world, to be at its center, to represent what it represents in the cosmic of things, in the cosmic dance. You are the center of the cosmic dance, women, goddess. So claim that. Stop using the words to claim to claim something that you're not acting as. Stop calling yourself all these things when you're not in line with that. You're lying to yourself, and you're making your situation worse because you're lying to yourself. Remember, truth is truth. When truth recognizes lies, it deviates away from you. And people can tell. The eyes can tell, the heart can tell. So stop selling your vaginas, women. All the girls who wants to be princesses, and all the princesses who wants to be queens, and all the queens who wants to be goddesses. Come back to yourself. You are claiming these words because that's who you are. Deep down inside, that's the value you uphold. So come back to your value, and don't say you don't need no man. Stop justifying your inversion of yourself as by saying you don't need no man. Of course you do. Okay? So let's gather ourselves up back together. Heal. Allow yourself to heal so you can claim who you call yourself to be. Allow yourself to heal so you can claim who you call yourself to be. And I'm going to end this segment on that. Bless.